We're live.
We live.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How is everyone?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, yeah. Jeremy's out of school forever.
Not yet. He said he's got a day and a half left.
Yeah, I have to go to school on Tuesday for a half day.
Ah.
And at my district, half days, sometimes we've been as low as 50% attendance. I guarantee you we're going to be below that.
Yeah.
I want to play that one.
We're going to be way below that because the 8th graders can't, after they do their promotion, they don't have to come to school.
Yeah.
So that half day, because their promotion's tomorrow.
All right. No one wants to give a shit about school. Let's go. Let's go play talk to a little bit about the paranormals.
Okay.
Because I left the field.
There's a pair of them.
It was like The Godfather. As soon as I get out, I get back in. I swear to God, it was just like Jesus. I literally announced it, and then the next day is like, you can't leave. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not leaving. Well, I kind of am leaving. Kind of leaving. Oh, look, it's our good old friend. That's me. And
she loves Jeremy.
Yeah,
that's a scary thought.
I never got anything from that one. Well, I moved her. She's gonna have another event. We canceled the event they were having. They're gonna move it, or something's gonna work out with that. But I think Jay Enscat.
You like this?
The minute it got canceled, he bought the dates. It was like, Jay's coming now for the 4th time. Guys, if you're not going to Emmaus, Jay is just going to buy up the rest of the season. Okay, so just get on there, get on the calendar. We're going to go through the calendar. If you're looking for a private, because that's where it's at. I had so many amazing emails to get through because so many were like, I'm selling like 10 tickets per event. I'm like, you should really listen to the podcast. We gave you some good sage advice, man. Sometimes people are just assholes and they just don't want to go to your events. I mean, I can't help you there, okay? Like we talked to Rob. Me and Jeremy talked to Rob. You know, Rob is having very similar. I mean, some of his events are doing really well, and then some of them are just not doing really well. So it's just ebb and flow right now, and people are just basically staying above water. Hang in there. I mean, we had a good show last week. We tried to keep it under an hour. I think it went to 120. We have a beautiful bedtime story tonight. I'm so excited about it. People love the bedtime stories. People love the story that I had to share. Okay. This one, guys, I bought a witch's prison. So I'm excited to share this one for you guys.
Did you buy it sight unseen?
I don't know. It's a beautiful article. I read it today. It's a little long, but people love my voice. That's what Jocelyn tells me. She doesn't. I don't make this. She does tell me that. Where's Chuck at? Why isn't Chuck here? Somebody get Chuck out of our group and tell him to join because I miss Chuck. Chuck E. Cheese. And then we have our wonderful guest tonight, one of our team members. Mandy couldn't make it tonight. She had hellish traffic coming from Atlanta. Go figure. And she's just going to chill tonight. She's probably going to watch it on her sofa. She did see our post. And before we get everybody on there, I know you guys saw the post about the debunking thing. And I think people were kind of confused as to where I was going with it.
If they followed our drama, they should know.
If they follow their drama, they should know, right? And we're not talking about great paranormal investigators like the Joslins of the world, like the Chris's of the world, like ours. We're talking, or Beyond the Veil, right? Like we debunk our own stuff, right? Because we don't want to put something out there. I mean, I'm not going to get into it because I'm still friends with some people, but there was a team out there that posted a photo from the Sally house and it just went to shit. I mean, even fucking, I think Tinfoil picked it up. Randy picked it up. This ghost in a chair, right? And we hit it so fast. We were the first ones to react to something fake. So this idea that these debunk channels would want to.
And here's the thing too, that
right, like we don't believe everything. We gotta. Most good investigators, the investigators that I know, I mean, and the majority that I've ghost hunted with the last year and a half, always debunk their shit before they put it out. Some of them don't even put their shit out anymore. Like I was talking about Alex from Castle Rock last week, and the photos that he showed me and Jeremy are enough to make you believe in the afterlife. That's how good they are. Has he put them out there? He might have, but it's so good. It's so conclusive. Like the evidence is like what it can't be anything else, right? And then you get the occasional, oh well, you know, it's a C EVP. Then just fucking throw it out. There's no even point of keeping it, right? And
well,
so,
and here's the thing too.
go
You know, you don't have to fake evidence at these locations.
No.
They're plenty haunted. And the three of us all know the Pickmans personally with the Sally house. We know it's legit, you know, and sometimes that's the paranormal. You never know. You know, you can sit in a room for hours and absolutely nothing happens. The three of us, we know this. But then another time you can go to a location, it's active as shit, you know?
Yes.
There's no reason to debunk. And number one, that ruins your credibility. Who wants that? In this field, your credibility is everything.
Everything. It's well said and it's stated, because I don't know any of you guys to ever do that.
Hell no, you'll never see us do that.
Yeah, and I even talked about my old team like that we were on. I mean, me and Jeremy pretty much assembled that team, right?
Mm-hmm.
We assembled that team because of the, Lauren and what was it? I think they're Night Owl Paranormal. We're just watching these guys investigate. We're like, man, these guys are really fucking good, and FTS and all the other guys, like we wanted them on our team because these were people that we could trust with our equipment, but also if they were going to film something, we knew they weren't going to put any bogus shit out. And so that was Braden was FTS.
Mm-hmm.
Finding the Spectre, I think. What is that, Jeremy?
What?
Did you hear that?
It might have been.
Oh, okay.
My kids are talking out in the hall.
Okay.
I got my door.
Because his face went like this. I'm like, is that your attic ghost again?
I apologize.
No, I think mine's glitching.
Oh yeah, no worries. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that like there are people that sit on podcasts for clickbait watching other people do all the work, and they can sit from afar and say that's fake. How do you know? I can watch NASCAR and it's like me watching NASCAR and be like, no way that car's in front. I'm like, it's actually in front. I'm not there. Right. But it's in front. I can see that. So having an opinion is different from ridicule. Right. Defamation is different from freedom of speech, as we've seen 3 times in a courtroom, Jeremy, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
And what happened when the judge came out?
It'll make you
Yeah.
It'll make you
That's what happens. It'll make you shit right there. And we're gonna help.
Said, Your Honor, these 2 Utes.
The 2 Utes. But at the end of the day, like, unless you're experiencing it, and I'm not saying that like we have been to very, very haunted places. Me and Jeremy have tracked down the Exorcist story. We've been to the hospital, which is like super, super scary, and now it's closed and it's all like condemned looking. And we've walked around places and we've been to the most haunted places. We've been to the lighthouse in St. Augustine. When we were in the lighthouse, St. Augustine, nothing happened. We didn't get anything. We got a really cool sound after we filmed for 12 hours. There was a slam, but it could have been wind. We never posted it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say that the St. Augustine lighthouse is not haunted, because my experience there wasn't filled with the nun coming down the staircase. And I think that's this obvious ambition of people that want to ghost hunt for 6 hours and sit in a place and be like, yeah, it's not haunted. What are you actually expecting? I don't understand like what they expect when you go to a place. Is the ghost supposed to open the fucking door for you? I mean, is that what's supposed to happen?
Doors are supposed to open.
It's not haunted unless
It's
not haunted unless the ghost gives me a handy.
Well, yeah, I mean that's happened with the entity, right? That's a famous story.
Yeah,
but I think that like part of and I make fun of one of our big persons that keeps coming back and doing privates, Jay, but that's what he's doing. This is now he's booked once and then he's booking the next day. So he has now 4 times on the ground at Emmaus with his team. That is a paranormal investigator. That is a person that is looking for something. If we can talk about Harry Price, who is, and if you don't know who Harry Price is and you want to have a podcast on the paranormal, back it up. back it up a little bit, read a little bit about Harry Price, understand what he did for the field. Man lived at Borley Rectory for over 11 years. 11 years trying to do paranormal investigations. He was the biggest debunker of them all. And he was the most skilled in psychic research at Oxford. The guy was so skilled in paranormal research that at the time, the UK had an insurance clause that if your house was haunted and a poltergeist destroyed something in your house, they would send Harry Price to your house to investigate. And if he deemed that the house was haunted, you would get a check from the insurance company. And that's a fucking true story. That's the history that me and Jeremy, that Krista, we all come from. We know the people that came before us. Are there people that have been on other teams that were a little, I still don't believe the Screaming House. I think that was all made up. But in Union, I mean, nobody else has ever experienced that, right? So that's a problem, right? But then there's people that just come to Emmaus and they want to go in blind, and I love this. They just want to go in blind and they just want to experience stuff. Right. And then some people want the history. And so I had this random post, and I had this one, I don't want to call anybody out because I don't really know. Sometimes people are emotional in text, and I don't want to make him mad. I mean, I kept him on there. He's allowed his opinions of what I said, even though I countered a couple times to him and thanking him for the comment because, I like different perspectives. We're not saying that if you come out there and debunk something, we're going to sue you. That was the intent of that. That's not what it said. What it said was, if you're going to come to our location and you're going to basically break Missouri, Kansas, and the Midwest laws, especially Missouri's laws, which is all falsified, your entire triumph there is to say that you're paranormal investigators to hurt a business, which we saw last year, and we saw that place is for sale, because that's what happens. I don't know if that's the reason, but it's definitely a cause. It's causal, right? Cause and effect.
Didn't help.
Causation, right? Law, right? Stuff I'm studying. So those types of things that when you look at it, it's like, well, there's a little bit of cause and effect there. Like, are you coming here to do what exactly? Are you coming here for clicks? I don't also like people coming after Twin and Sam and Colby and all my best friends remember from the beginning of the year, Matt Rife and me and Elton, we hang out all the time. But
hey, how come I've never met him since we're best friends?
I know. But since when you look at those types of channels, if that is your play, great. But I would say that the biggest lie is coming from the podcast, because you can't give conclusive evidence either or. If you can disprove the existence of the paranormal, have at it. I'm into science as an engineer. I'll sit there and listen to you. If you can prove it, great. I want to further the knowledge. How do you know this? But if you're just going to sit on a podcast and you're on your ass and look at somebody else's work and just make fun of people, which is what all the channels do. They're all copycats. None of them have one original idea in any of them. And they just scold people for no reason. So our comment is like, don't come to our property and try to do something like that. Don't take anybody that's been on our property's work and do that. Because you will see something in the mail. And it might be delivered to your house. Yeah. Because we protect the people that are on our property. They are trying to do something. They are trying to discover something. And
here's the thing too, we welcome skeptics, absolutely, because you got to think that we always, I know I've investigated, I've known you two for a long time, and we always try to debunk something before we just jump and say it's paranormal. We're okay with you doing that, trying to debunk it, like why is this breeze coming through here, whatever, that's cool. But like you said, when you sit back, you've never been to this location, and then saying that this place isn't haunted or, this is fake or something like that, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, I will be 100% honest. Like I've watched the podcast. They've done it. They're very entertaining. They're very talented podcasters, and they could be doing so much stuff that's so much more positive, because the stuff that we've done for Emmaus is not for our own pockets. We've not made a single dollar. All the money that we have, we've given to Ben and Mandy to try to save and raise the property. And anytime somebody tries to put any type of like ill or type of like some bullshit that is going to be like try to hurt the property and hurt businesses. Like I said, I don't have evidence as to why Paracons are not opening, why people aren't selling tickets, but I can definitely give you some avenues that if you're going to sit there and you're going to watch stuff and people are just going to destroy locations and people's footage, I'm not going to say that everything that's out there is absolutely true. I'm not going to say that these people
Right.
that go and scream demon, which has died off, if everybody's noticed that. So the debunkers did something great there. They stopped those idiots from doing that.
Yeah.
So, but when you come down to the focus of what that post was about, it's like we protect our property, we protect the people on the property, and we protect the work that they're doing for Emmaus. And that's why Ops was so successful. We had 3 teams that came out. It was very fun. Charlotte was supposed to give me a bunch of stuff. She's in the chat. I don't know where my stuff is, but I'll get it. She can get it to me next week. But one of the stories that she was telling me was, what is Ops? Everybody's like, what is Ops? Well, we're not. It's a soft launch. It's a soft rollout, right? We're still trying to figure it out. What Ops is basically do. It's mission based on our findings. And this is where, like, I wish the debunk crowd would give us the benefit of the doubt and say, like, when has Emmaus ever said that it had demons? When have I ever come out?
Never.
Or you guys have ever come out and said that we have demons and that this place is so fucking haunted and like, oh my God, like it's the most haunted place. It is one of the most haunted places that I've been in Missouri. People that have gone there have said that.
It's on my top 3.
It's in a lot of people's top 5 right now. I mean, Jocelyn can't stop coming. She left Hey Dudes in the closet.
Yeah.
Boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
I do. But like at the end of the day, like if you want to come out and debunk, I have no problem with that. We would applaud that, right? But you're going to have to be there at least 3 days. You're going to have to do a lock-in. Okay. And then you're going to have to come back in another season, another weather pattern, and you're going to have to do another 3 days. And when you do another 3 days, I want you to come back again and again and again. And at the end of the year, if you have like 30 times that you've been here for overnighters and lock-ins and lockouts, and you absolutely have nothing, 2 things are going to come into my mind. A, maybe you're just not a believer, or maybe they just don't like you. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm a cooler. There'll be the most exciting stuff happening, and I'll walk in and like everything goes dead. They're like, oh, it's like when my dogs get home and they're barking outside and they're pissing somebody off. When I walked outside, they just stop, look at me, and they stop barking. They're like, nope, not supposed to be doing that, right? So I have nothing but respect for people that do that type of science, that do that type of work. So don't misconstrue what we're saying. What we're saying in our post is like, don't come here under the guise of being a documentary company and saying that you're going to do this film and that you really want to bring all this stuff out, because as a filmmaker, I'm going to applaud you. I'm going to give you a better rate. You can just ask, we have a feature film coming to shoot in August. They're there for almost 10, 14 days, I think. They're shooting a whole 14. We have an independent film that's going to be there for 5 days. So all my connections, all my film people are coming in. We had shot a music video there on Sunday after the Ops event, right? We're booked every Sunday and we're booked every Friday, every Saturday. We're just booked. We're booked during the week. And we have very big names coming out because of what we're trying to do, because they know that it's not about our pocket. So it's about saving this place. And if we can do that in the avenue of the paranormal, but that's not all we do either, right? There's an incredible thrift store that's actually underneath the Emmaus that the kids over there that live there have put together, and it's really cool. And I don't know, I think it's open on the weekends. You can come, you can walk through the asylum, and there's just a bunch of antiques and thrift clothing and really cool, beautifully curated stuff. It's not just thrown together. It's really like laid out. Me and Jeremy walked the whole thing trying to figure out our running water, which we did figure out. It does run. There is running water. I mean, that was a huge accomplishment for us, guys. Yeah. That's huge, right? And so I think that like when you look at this, it's not that I'm sitting up here and saying that your show sucks and you're a terrible podcaster. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is lend credence to the people that have been at those places and had experienced stuff. All right. I get it. I get pissed off when people are like screaming demon every 6 seconds. I understand that, but it's not all of us. There are people that have had genuine experiences. There are people that have more airtime. There are people that have more celebrity, I guess public figure status, which I am not a public figure. A public figure would be like Drake, whose new album is amazing. Thank God somebody destroyed Kendrick Lamar, who's the worst rapper ever, but I'll get shit for that. That's great. But
wait. Worst?
I don't know.
Are we forgetting Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice had a moment.
How about Snow?
Snow, that's great. How about Go Ninja?
Skilo?
Skilo was Too Short.
Yeah, but I like Too Short.
Too Short was great. But like, so that's what kind of the post was about. It's not targeting anybody. It's not going after anybody. It's just saying like, hey, like, give this place a shot. lend credence to the people that are actually doing the work, right? And like, don't look at everything you see online because somebody's trying to get clickbait as, oh, that
Right.
place must be fake. That has nothing to do with us. If somebody came in there and rented it and went in there and did something like that, would we be pissed? Absolutely. We would be pissed. We would be pissed. I mean, because like, hey, that's not what we're trying to do. At the same time, maybe that was their experience, right? That's the problem with the paranormal. I don't have a meter. I don't know what he experienced there. I mean, was the acting good? I would ask that. And I would say this, I have never experienced that. Me and Jeremy work in the garage there. We've cleaned the whole thing up. We have a haunted car in there. One of our most haunted cars is in there right now, and we're working on that, getting that ready to go, getting that all fixed up, and it's going to be a banger when we're done with it. But like, I think at the end of the day, like when you look at debunking as a whole, you have to take it with a grain of salt, right? But you also have to experience it for yourself. You can have an opinion, but there's no reason to like ridicule someone. There's no reason to like get personal with somebody and just tear them a new ass, right? And I'm not saying that I haven't done that. I have, but I've changed. I'm a changed man. I don't attack people. I don't say people's names. I don't allude to anything. I'm just saying the debunking thing in general is very healthy for the paranormal. But it's no reason to hurt somebody's feelings or come at them or bully them online and make them feel like they never want to do this again.
Or hide their identity and sneak into a place with the intent of destroying the credibility.
Yeah, and that's just it's unfair. It's illegal in Kansas and Missouri to do that. It's very, very illegal to do stuff like that, especially when you're defaming businesses and business owners. Can you have an opinion about stuff? Absolutely. You can absolutely have an opinion. And half the time, I said it last week, half the time I look at this stuff, I'm like, yeah, he's probably right about that. I would have approached it differently, right? I would have not maybe attacked somebody personally because they believe that. But for me, it's about facts and evidence. If you're going to say that, and that's the other thing that I want to address, that's also part of that post, right? The post is saying that like Emmaus Asylum was never called Emmaus Asylum. It fucking absolutely was called Emmaus Asylum.
And we have proof.
Yeah, we have proof. They changed it in the 40s because they didn't like what was happening at Pennhurst. Like, hey, that's not us, right? That's not what we want to be. You know, we're more religious and we're helping people mind it. Yes, that is all true. They did change the name. But we have actual books, we have documentations, we have death certificates, we have newspaper clippings. That was all a part of ops. If you were a part of ops, you got basically an iPad, and you were able to kind of look at all the documentation we had. So you and your team have the ability to go into things and understand our research that we pulled. And that research has newspaper clippings, photos, evidence, videos, everything that we've captured. And so you start with your team and you have this block of evidence that you have to go through first as a team. Like, all right, well, this is what they've discovered. This is what they're pointing to. And we're inviting people to debunk it. We're inviting people to say, I don't think it's that. I think it's this.
Right.
So for you to make snap judgments because maybe you don't like my old podcast or something I said 7 years ago or whatever, that's on you, bro. Great. Get over it. I've done so well for myself in the 5 months, and I will continue to do that because I don't react like people want me to. I'm not going to go and clap back at people. Like, people are entitled to their opinions about me. That's fine. I can have that. I won't apologize for things that I didn't do. But at the same time, like, the reason why I'm putting these events together is not to gamify something. It is to give those people, those debunkers, an opportunity to be like, I don't think this is what it is, Frankie. I've gathered this evidence and I think it's this. It might be a blown tube. It might be water. It might be something in the walls. It might be critters. It might be birds. It might be bats. It could be 100 other things, right? And that's your job, right? Your job at ops is to look at the evidence and say, all right, well, that's pretty startling. I mean, Charlotte's evidence that we'll show next week was pretty incredible. In the text message that she sent me, they were in the observation room and they were targeted. They basically, their target, their mission was the boy that's in the observation room that we believe is in the observation room that we've caught on camera, where we've never really released that footage. I think Souls have shown it, you know, and they're more entitled to show it. They were there. They were part of it. We're not saying that it belongs to us. No, it belongs to the people that were in the room that witnessed it because it's awesome.
Mhm.
And they should have a piece of it as much theirs as it is ours. But at the same time, like, I don't think they've even shown it a lot because of what happens. You know, oh, this is fake, and people blow up on you, and then you're on a fucking post, and it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Right.
But then when you obviously fake something, I mean, you should get a little ass grabbing. I mean, come on, dude. Like, come on. Like,
And that's when the paranormal community should come together and blast that person, because that makes a bad name for all of us that are doing good and are doing it the right way, you know.
It's not hurt, right? Because like it ruins our credibility. That if we're ever we're a pseudoscience, and I've never not admitted that, but we're a pseudoscience because of people faking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not doing enough to prove it, right? There's a great team. There's a great team, and they've been doing it for 20 years, and they've documented everything. Dave Glidden has had them on before. It's just, and I've met them. They're amazing paranormal investigators, but they're very scientific. They're very notebook worthy and journaling and watching every minute tick by and watching atmospherics. And when I've seen them present, they've even said it. I'll probably never be able to prove ghosts, but I can definitely prove the paranormal. And I think that's what we're after, right? We're after the Holy Grail when you see it. And maybe that's what happened to me. Maybe when we went back through the footage and we saw this kid standing in the hallway just emerge. And it's just so hard to debunk. It's so hard to debunk. I mean, it's on a body camera and you don't have access to the SD card.
Right.
You just don't. It's internal. It's a cop one, right? It's a police officer one. So we had to literally, we downloaded the footage. At that point, you can do whatever you want. But we still have, it's sitting right there. No one's allowed to use it. It's actually, I'll show it to you.
Silence.
And we've not used it since that night.
Oh, I survived the silence. Thank God.
I was wondering if you were having an earthquake there, Jeremy.
I was going to explode like the guy in Scanners where his head just...
There you go.
I mean, this has never been used. It has a gold star on the bottom of it. We don't use it. And that footage is still on here. And there's a couple shows that have used it, and that's fine. I mean, they were in Canada. I don't think they did well, but great show, fun guys, awesome. But it's not very different look at paranormal than how we do stuff. But I think at the end of the day, like, I want to encourage people to. It's totally fine to debunk stuff, and it's totally fine to have opinions, and it keeps our field very healthy. But watch your approach, man. Like, I'm not up here trying to scream at you and call you names and say all these derogatory terms that are lawsuit worthy.
And that's actually talking about like all genres of
all genres. This is not one. Don't try to think
UFOs, the cryptid side, the ghost side, all of it.
It's everything. It's UFO people. I mean, UFO people get it the worst, man. They get it the worst. Jesus, like Mufang and all those people, like they're just, man, they're like, what's the worst community though of all of them that me and Jeremy have actually stepped into that narrow shadow one time? The Ripperologists. Jesus Christ.
Really?
They hate everybody.
They fucking hate everyone. Everyone with a theory is dead to them. It is awful how much they hate each other. They don't even do conferences. That's how much they hate each other. And they all have this assumed theory.
They would probably kill each other in a dark alley.
I'll show you how he did
with a knife, and then and leave a stem of grapes.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for coming by. But yeah, I think in general, like it's all of us. Anytime you're taking on conspiracy theories, anytime. But like, I mean, in today's world, conspiracy theories have become the truth. So it's hard. It's hard to oh well, people with Kennedy. No, it was Lyndon B. Johnson.
I knew it.
And a lot of people knew that. They even made a movie that was, and now it's funny too when you see the truth come out, like this serial killer up in Suffolk County that killed all the girls on the beach up there in New York, like 7 or 8 girls. Like everybody, there was like 6 documentaries on this guy, and every one of them was wrong. Like, Armchair sleuths don't get it right, guys. Neither does Hulu or Netflix. It's always the least amount of assumptions, right? It's always Occam's razor, guys. And if you don't know what that is, you should really look it up when you're doing anything true crime. Look up Occam's razor, and it'll really keep you focused. It keeps you narrow. It's the least amount of assumptions, right? Don't go broad here. Go light here, right? And so,
honestly, it's not even just for true crime. I mean, that pretty much is for everything.
Yeah,
right.
It is.
Absolutely.
And it's but once again, because people love to make clips and stuff like that, what we're saying is debunking is very healthy, but you don't have to tear down an entire person to get your point across. Also, the stuff you've been dealing with, and I don't know if you really want to mention that here or get credibility, but the LBL stuff is just, I've been researching that, and we've had our shit in Ghost, and for the most part, it's supposed to be funny, and a lot of times it is, and it's it's knee jerk, and it's grab ass, and I love that shit. I mean, you can have a little fun with, you could be critical of people. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you fucking shame somebody into getting hate and it starts affecting their job and their livelihood, dude, you're doing the wrong fucking thing, man. Like, you need to back off. In the case of the LBL, it's a mystery to me that the cryptid world, I feel, is even worse.
It is.
It's
I'm a huge part of the
Dogman.
Yeah. The LBL is I have witnessed things there myself. And so, but I can only talk about what I personally have witnessed. But I know a lot of other people, even like, Brandy's been with me and we've both witnessed things. Natalie, another blonde, she witnessed a rake at the LBL. Yeah. So, the place is just, it's crazy. I've heard of people seeing like a Mothman type creature out there, Dogman and, Bigfoot, and some nice, some not, it's just, it's a crazy place. It's a beautiful place by the day, but it takes on a whole different ball game at night.
And so what is, not to get too much into LBL, but if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's land between the lakes, and it's an area of Kentucky. Is that right?
Kentucky and Tennessee. It goes in both states.
Okay. And so, hey, Robert, so the LBL, what I was researching about were just some of the players involved that are very hateful to other teams. And I don't want to get into names and call people out here and stir that up. What is it over though? Is it over like evidence? Is it over like somebody said something or somebody did something?
So here's the deal. There is some really well-known podcasters that go to the LBL a lot, and they debunked the supposedly 1982 killing of a family. I mean, I believe that did happen, but supposedly there was a survivor, and they have debunked that. And so it's kind of split down the middle. A lot of people say that there's a survivor who was a teenager at the time, but everything's just wrong about it. And I don't have any problems talking about that. And this particular podcasters, I mean, they've been there a lot, and hoping they'll be with us in September, but that's
we have story. 2 sheriffs that'll be there, and that's what people have to understand. When we run events, we actually have uniformed officers, so don't fuck around.
That's all, and I told them
find out.
Yep, but they debunked that guy was not being truthful, and then people who we thought were friends, who actually bashed this person who said he was a survivor, they've now become friends with him. It's just, these trolls are they're just awful. It spreads. It's like a cancer. It just spreads from one person to the next. And
we see that a lot too. We see the people like they hate each other, and all of a sudden they're friends now, and it's like, what's going on there? That's weird. And then they're not friends again.
Exactly.
And it's like
exactly.
It's an embodiment.
Yep. And that's the one
here.
Hey, Brian.
Love Box brisket sandwich. Jeremy, that's our dude.
Oh, yes.
He fed us that night.
The box brisket.
The glove box brisket.
I ate it.
Doug should call it that. Doug should call it the glove box.
It was from Doug's restaurant.
It was, and it was phenomenal. Cold in a glove box. It was still great. That's how good Doug is at it.
We ate it.
We
Good
ate it.
deal.
We did.
Good
We
deal.
killed it. And thank
Here's
you
a
so much.
question:
Nourishment.
can we put these trolls? Can we mark them as cryptids?
Well, that's elementals.
I think they're more like elementals.
You want to give a shout out to Doug's restaurant?
Elementals. There you go.
You should give a
There
shout
you
out
go.
to Doug's restaurant because his barbecue is really good.
Yeah, it is very good. And I'm not just saying that because he's my boyfriend. It really is good.
I thought he was
But-
my boyfriend.
No,
This
he's
is
mine,
my-
Jeremy. I'm sorry.
This one here, I'm not going to give her name because she has that. I don't know if she has an alias, but this one right here, that's our feature film. She's, I believe, one of the producers on it, and we've been having a lot of fun in chat. Jeremy, you might have to interview her as our third chair. She's a really good podcaster. I've watched a couple episodes that she's in, and she's got it. She's got that. She's good. She's good podcaster. Yeah, she's gonna have some. She's connected to some fun films, and we're really excited. The owners are really excited, and so I think that like overall, you know, me and Jeremy, and this is why I'm not gonna mention her name, but she's in the chat. The thing that's really cool about her is that it's very much in line with me and Jeremy. Me and Jeremy love fucking horror. We have horror film festivals that we're going to kick off again in 2027 if things go right. And hopefully it'll be at Emmaus. And that's why one of the cool things that she's going to be on the ground there in August. And I want her to really look at it and say, hey, you think we can pull something off like a horror festival here with ghost hunts and shit? I think it would be amazing. But the thing about that is like it's such a narrow field. It's really strange. Like, cause you would think that like all paranormal investigators are in the horror, or you would think that all horror guys are into the paranormal. One of our friends, our good friend Antonio Pantayoya, is scared to death of the paranormal. Was one of the best horror directors there is. So it's a really cool line that's being played there. And she had a chance to go out to Emmaus and spot a little bit for the film. And she's like, man, I wish we would have had this a month ago. But that's what Emmaus is doing. We're helping indie filmmakers and we're giving them awesome prices. And I think she can attest to that just because we want their films being made, but we also want them. We know, me and Jeremy know how hard it is to get a budget to begin with, let alone like pay people. And make sure you have craft service and everybody's protected and safe. And there's so much money in film and it's so hard to get one done. And so we want to make sure that the location's not the burden of the money. Because it's such a cool location.
It is. It's a great location. And we are, Blondes actually is going to still be filming. We had some stuff set us back, but we will be filming out there as well. Yeah.
Welcome to TV where everything, it's always a setback.
I know, right?
We get a phone call every 6 months like, hey, you're still on the chopping block, guys. You're still there.
I will tell you, we got pushed off aside for Jack Osborne. Just saying. Yeah. So Mary Lynn,
he's been going through a lot, Jack, man. I've been defending his ass.
He's also back into filming because Mary Lynn's been filming with him. That's why we're pushed off till she's doing his new show with him. And we got pushed off.
And I'm really, really proud of him too, because like he's under a lot of fire right now with the whole like bankruptcy of the other film company and the weight loss.
Yeah. They're saying he's sick.
Look, me and Jack, and I don't know him.
Speaking
I don't know. Right
there you go. Great shirt, Jeremy.
Aussie. But like the thing with when Jack, I listened to his whole statement about when they were coming after him because he's lost weight.
I watched that too.
We're big kids.
And Kelly too.
Right. Yes. Yes. And it's like you people speaking to that don't understand the position that we're in. They don't understand that we've battled weight our entire life. And if there's an opportunity for us to lose it, if there's an opportunity to stop the food noise, to help us get healthy, we're going to take it. Yep. And if we want to get skinny, we're going to get fucking skinny because we've never experienced that. And I think it's just awful that people don't understand how much of eating and is a disease and it's an addiction and it's hard. And it's the one thing that like me and Jeremy will, dog each other and be hypercritical of each other just for jokes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's one thing that we really never attack people over. It's like, hey, dude, like that's hard. It's hard it's hard losing weight when you're at a certain age. It's hard losing weight when you have a certain disability. if you have diabetes, if you have pituitary problems, if you have thyroid issues. Like there's so many things that go into that. And watching him like get beat up for no fucking reason. He's never hurt anybody. He's never backstabbed anybody. He's never done anything wrong. And neither is Kelly. Never. You don't see it. Yeah, she spoke out of school one time. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? People say
does it
all the time. Like I'm one of them.
Well, and the thing is too, you know, like me personally, I've been on a weight loss journey, and I'm not embarrassed to say that, you know, I've been taking that shot, and I've lost 60 pounds from doing the shot.
You feel
know,
I do. And if Jack ever sees this, I want to show something for me that was the reason why I got on the shot. I have a very low dose. It just kind of, because I'm pretty good at like getting my shit together, but this is giving me that edge. Because when I told my endocrinologist, I need the food noise to just shut the fuck up. It's like always in my ear, right?
That.
Well, after about almost a year and a half of her regulating me and getting me chemically right and situated and being like where I'm talking tonight, where I'm being hypercritical of stuff, but I'm not calling anybody out and I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying, hey, like, I see your point. I see what you're trying to say, but there's a better way to do it, man. And it's going to make you and your podcast better if you're positive about shit. But I got this from my MD today, and it basically says patient's repeat comprehensive metabolic panel that was ordered by, I'm not going to say my doctor's name, but my endocrinologist showed his liver tests are now normal. Took me 2 years. How many times have you seen me drink, Jeremy, in the last 3 years?
It's been I don't know that I've seen you do it maybe at your wedding. I think we took a shot.
Yeah, that was probably it.
I don't remember drinking when we went to Sleepy Hollow.
Nope. Well, we had the one little drink in the
at the pumpkin thing. Yeah, we did the one.
We did the one, and that was it.
I think that was it.
I have been watching my liver because if you're without it, you can't really live without one. And they don't know what it was. They said, well, my endocrinologist goes, I think it's maybe fatty liver disease. And I'm like, what's that? So they did a ultrasound, and they saw deposits in there. And then about 6 months ago, the deposits were worse. And so I was like, fuck, what's happening? She's like, well, you're losing weight. So your liver is processing this shit. So in a month or 2 or 2 months from now, when we do your test, it's probably going to go down, and it's exactly what happened. So that's the result of, people shutting off the food noise. Like, I know that people are abusing Zepbound. I know they are. I don't think it's him.
No, I don't
they have the teeth thing if they do.
True.
You know what? There's a good comment in here. Go Beyond the Veil said, you don't know about the long-term side effects of it, but what we do know is what the long-term side effects of being overweight is. And that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
I think the effects are, I'm still fucking awesome.
You are. You are.
There you go.
Man, like I always say, like, I think that if it's for your health and you need an edge, great. If you get to the point where you've lost your weight and you can do it, I think that's the good part about what he's doing. So, I don't think he'll ever see this, but at the end of the day, like, we hear you, we get you. We're not famous. We don't have that type of allure. We probably never will, but seeing him get beat up for that, I'm like, hey, like, that's just one fucking moment, dude. It's bullshit, bro. Like, we've been waiting for this our whole lives, because like it is very hard when you have that type of, food addiction or aversion or whatever you want to call it. It's just like, I'm so glad that he's doing this with your friend, and I'm so glad he's back, because he is one of the best paranormal investigators. His show with his parents, and they watched the video. Yeah, I will watch that.
Oh, he's got a new show coming out, because Mary Lynn, another blonde, there's 4 of us. She's been filming with them.
What's this one?
So
I had stage 3 non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's exactly. I had stage 1.
2 years on Mounjaro, 70. Look, there you go.
Gone. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
It's is that Angie? That's Angie. But yeah, so at the end of the day, like, everybody's different. Some people don't lose weight by exercising and eating healthy. It's true. And that was my problem, because I could always go to the gym and you didn't really see me do it. But like this time around, something was wrong. Like I was hitting the gym 7 times a week. I was eating like fucking brown rice and boiled chicken and broccoli. And I'm like, nothing is working. And so finally I went to the end.
It looked delicious.
There's nothing wrong with getting help in bettering yourself.
Here we go. Frankie, it's not the food noise for me. My kryptonite is homemade Italian food, huh? Oh, women, Italian cars. Yeah, that's my problem. I don't have a pill for that, buddy.
No,
the cars and the food, I got you. The women too, but I can't partake anymore. My wife doesn't like my girlfriend.
Then we got Kenny in here. Oh, what's
Kenny
Kenny's show
Momo.
over here? Kenny's in great shape. What's he talking about? Oh, he's getting back from the gym. I got to prepare dinner. So enjoy your boiled chicken and broccoli, bro.
Well, and Kenny is part of our Emmaus team too.
He is. Yeah, I can't wait to spend more time with him, man. Like, because we've been doing very, very cool stuff. But I did want to get to your event. I know we kind of like got sidetracked. We had a lot of emails like, "Hey, what did you mean by that?" Because I love to debunk you. We love you that you debunk. All I'm saying is, you don't have to attack people to get your point across.
Right.
I did that, and I regret a lot of things I said last year and the years before on my podcast. I don't call people out. I don't. I get angry still. I get mad. I call Jeremy. We have a conversation about it, and then I'm good.
Yep. That's the way it should be.
Don't put yourself in that cesspool of back and forth and clapping back and don't just ignore it and move on.
All right.
They're guys with tiny PPs that need attention.
Maybe. Could be a big PP and doesn't work.
Oh,
I'm dying over here.
That's what he said in the bed.
A gray acorn.
It's possible.
Also,
I don't know.
Terry's also in chat, and she's a part of our team too.
Terry's in chat. Terry actually said she wants to go land between the lakes with you. This year.
I want to go there, but I have no interest in chasing Dogman. I want to chase 4-wheel drives.
They have
that out there. They have 4-wheel drive Jeep trails.
That's why I want to go there. I want to rent a cabin and go wheeling for the weekend.
Yeah,
you go wheeling, I'll go to the woods.
Deal. We get both shoot stuff too.
There you go.
Good with all of it. We're gonna try to get that. I really want to get that military thing going. Or Cook V. I really want that done. Just want to get so many things done. Look at this. We gotta talk peptides. Hell yeah, dude. I'm looking at them right now as I get back in the gym and get big again. My wife's like, "Your arms are getting small," and I'm like, "Oh, that's a terrible thing to say to me." So we're gonna get bulk again. We're gonna get big.
You don't want your arms to be too big because it makes other things look small. Looks like a mushroom in a cornfield.
Getting back to being Italian and Italian cars and women and but at the end of the day, I think that like what we're trying to do at Emmaus is a paranormal free for all. It's a trifecta. The alien thing is very apparent. I was there.
Very real.
Week. Yeah, it's very real. I was leaving late at ops, and my God, I don't know if it was a shooting star or something. I had my glasses on. It wasn't a bug, but man, something ripped across that sky. That was it was unbelievable. It's the first time I can actually say it was unidentified for me. I didn't know what the fuck that thing was, but it was because I'm a car guy, right? And we have hot rods, and like anything that's fast makes me happy. And that thing was just scorched earth, like like what the fuck?
Well, it was a year ago that I was out there with Terry and a few other people, and I swear to God, we saw over, I don't know, a couple hour time period, at least 20 UFOs in the sky that night. And Terry had a thing on her phone that tells you like what's a satellite, what's a planet, what's a plane, blah, 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 blah. And it was coming back unidentified. And we all witnessed it. So, and honestly, I compare Emmaus to similar to like Bradshaw Ranch, Skinwalker Ranch, Marley Woods here in Missouri, the Meadows in Georgia, because they all have the trifecta. There's something more to these places. We just got to figure out what the common denominator is, of why, because there's all these different haunted locations, and then there's different places to go look for cryptids, but it's not all mixed. Why what is it? You know, I mean, we've looked at delay lines, we've looked into all kinds of stuff just to figure out a common denominator. And I don't know. That's why we're all here to work together to figure it out, you know?
Well, that's the thing too. I wish that these people like that want to sit on their platforms that, my God, I wish I had 40,000 followers where I could say, hey, you guys want to donate money to Emmaus? That'd be great. Let's redo a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Or we have friends that have cancer. We have 2 friends now that have cancer, right? And we have a friend that's battling a blood disease, and we would love to do more for them, right? There's so much more these people can do with their fans and their audience. And maybe they do. I don't know. I don't watch them. And I'm great that they do, right? Great that they do that.
Mhm.
But like, I'm just thinking like, man, like I just don't have the time to devote to podcasting. I don't. I love doing this Thursday show. We'll probably go a little longer today because you guys have got to hear this fucking story that I found. But like at the end of the day, like I think that the LBL thing, man, is like I often, you know, now that I'm studying law, right, in a percent for my own benefit right now, nothing's official. I don't want to make that clear. I'm not a lawyer. But understanding, breaking down, reading cases, and it's like, wow, if you think writing is terrible, read a judge's case file from the Supreme Court. Like these people are the Supreme Court. Like, wow, this is awfully written. But like the thing that I learned from my lawyer this year, who's a phenomenal lawyer, and I've learned a lot from him. He wants me to clerk for him and everything, but he's taught me so much about like the balance, right? And I would love to have him on to tell his story. Long story short, you know, he won a case and did all this great stuff, and he thought he was hot shit, right? Because he didn't have the biggest LSAT score. He went to, you know, a law school that was probably ranked in the 130s, wins a huge case, wins a big case, saves somebody from their husband, right? Because he's a civil lawyer. Well, long story short, he wins the case. Husband comes 2 days later and kills her. So, yeah. So it's like those cases exist. And I don't think people understand the ramifications of what this can all lead to. And that's kind of what my journey has been. Like after everything that went down with me was like a good wake up call to like, hey, like I might have been right about stuff. I might have been good to not apologize because that's how I am. But the people that have met me, the people that are involved in the lawsuits that I've met with, that I've had the judge dismiss with prejudice, is because I see, and when I see somebody and have a conversation with them, I can see that they're good people and they got caught up in something, right? I can see that I have that value about me. But I often think about those words as like, okay, you win, but then what are what is the outcome of that, right? Like, is it a notch in your belt if somebody's still hurt, right? So like the stuff with the LBL, can that be healed another way? Could there be a come to Jesus, right? Could there be like, hey, like let's have a conversation about it. It doesn't have to be online. It doesn't have to be on a live. Is there ways to mend bridges? Is there
So
ways?
I do know, like, you know, as far as the LBL goes, you know, at one time when this first came out, and I guess it was about 4 years ago when the guy came out and said he was a survivor. He did go on a really, really big show with a couple of people, and they had people, somebody from the North American Dogman Project was on there, and a couple other names that I care not to mention, but they you know, asked some questions like point blank, like, you know, okay, so this creature broke into this camper and unalived, you know, this mom and this daughter in the camper, but yet you still managed to get out and hide underneath the camper, but it couldn't sniff you out, but it sniffed everybody else out. You know, it's just things like that. Everything he said made no sense. Like he found the police and then went back. And how many police officers do you know is going to take a child victim back to the scene of the attack? Not going to happen.
Well, it's just on the decade. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that, you know, that I just don't believe him. And then now this individual is stalking my friends and has been for the last 3 years, and, you know, even showing up at their house many states away. So anyway,
that's not cool.
No, it's
That
not.
is-
So
that is cool.
so there's a lot of people that we have tried to make peace, and it's just they think they own the LBL. Like, we need to have permission to be out there. Other teams, it's stupid.
Yeah, and that stuff for me is like, it's ridiculous.
Hmm. And that's why when we do go out there, we don't put it out there till after we're done gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
That's a good idea, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no, because somebody's gonna show up and roll up on you, and that can get ugly pretty quick. And
Hmm. Yeah,
I just,
it happened to them. That other show that I was talking about, my friends, it happened to them when they were out there last.
yeah,
The trolls showed up.
this is no, that's just no play. There's no, like, so we have a cryptid event coming up, and a lot of the guys in the thread here are going to be out there September 19th. It's a big cryptid event. We're gonna have the cuck fee done. I'm just gonna say it, Jeremy. We're gonna have it done. It's gonna run September 19th. It's Chevelle.
Gotta have it done by then, so I can haul people up the hill.
The K5 will be done.
Okay.
Also, we have a nurse that works with us, and I don't know if my friend from the film company is still on, but she has volunteered her services as medical. She'll be a medical presence, and she'll bring her stuff.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah, Deb Whitman's always helping out, always killing it for us.
We also have so Half Inch Wrench Crew, who is also part of the Emmaus team. They're all confirmed to be there. Sasquatch Theories, Miguel Ramirez, who's also part of us. He's going to be out there that weekend. Momo Kinney in the chat is going to be there that weekend. And I bet Terry Mosby, as long as she has nothing going on, I bet she'll be there that weekend. Paranormal Paul, he's going to be out there. I'm dragging a couple more blondes out there too. So it's just going to be a great weekend. And, we're going to sell tickets, and it's going to be reasonable. And, it'd be a fun weekend. You can camp out there, whatever you want to do. And we'll just investigate all through the night and sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Kiss song.
It does. But you know what? Here's the thing, though. We actually have evidence of cryptid being out there, cryptids being out there. So Terry, she and Brandy and myself were walking, over to the ladies' college, the breezeway there, and this was the first time we were ever out there. And we were just talking, walking back. We weren't even like investigating at that point. And Terry had her recorder running, and we heard an audible, louder than all get outs from the woods behind us. It was a howl. Okay, so before we ever put it out there, or I ever talked about it on my show, I sent it to Charlie Raymond, who is a big time cryptid researcher, been doing it 20 something plus years. And then he actually even took Larry the Cable Guy out. So, I mean, he's pretty credible. That's and then not Larry, but Charlie.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, and then I also sent it to Joe and Jesse from Hellbent and Holler for them to listen to it. I wanted their, opinions of it, and both of them come back, and it was like, whoa, that's like more like along the Dogman type of thing. And so after that, we had I guess this was last September. There was a bunch of us that was out there at Emmaus, and Natalie and Paranormal Paul actually got a 17-inch print from behind, like where Mandy and Ben, where the houses are on that side. So, I mean, there is activity out there.
Yeah,
on the side of things. And there's a road that runs as a crow flies, not very far, that I nicknamed Dogman Road because on the TV, on a podcast, Dogman Encounters, a guy was on there talking about it, and it has a crow's flies right there by Emmaus. So it's really
when I'm leaving there, I'm always like, God, if I'm alone leaving, now it's gonna come much. Like, thanks for the ride, lady.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. And will you guys both be there?
Yes, we're gonna be there for the cryptid one.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm a crypt.
Yep. Oh, all right. Well, thanks, Krista, for coming on. You're welcome to stay. I know you have a show coming up now. So
Yeah,
I want to say
I do, but are we going to talk about the car show?
We are going to talk a little bit about the car show, but I did want to read the bedtime story first because it is.
Okay.
Robert is trying to go to bed.
I know Robert has to go to bed.
Well, I'll let you do your thing, but yeah, the music is for sure confirmed.
Yay. Okay, so we got Doug's band to come in. He's going to play some classic rock for our car show. That's October 3rd. Mark it in your calendar. It's $5 for cars. If you want to park your car, we're going to give away some prizes. You'll be able to do tours all day long of the building. There's going to be food trucks out there. There's going to be live music. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's Grim Rides. It's Haunted Garage's first car show. I don't know what the turnout will be. Hopefully it's great. I know the weather will be amazing. We'll definitely have at least 4 cars out there. So there you go. You can at least come see our cars. But it will probably do well. There's a great car community. I'm talking to a guy that's finishing up my Nova in the next couple weeks. He's got a bunch of friends that are going to come out, lowriders and donks. And so there's going to be a bunch of really cool cars. So if you're into cars, if you're in the haunted place, if you're into haunted cars, it's going to be the end. We're trying to do so Family Arena does the opening car show. I would love to be known for the closing car show. Do one a year on October that weekend. And it's it all comes down to these Grim Rides. And maybe they've wanted other shows. Maybe there's a carryover. Maybe there's a playoff. Maybe there's donuts in the parking lot. I don't know. It's big enough to do it. Just saying, Andy and Ben.
Yep. It's going to be a great time. So
anyway,
I am going to hop off and go over when this show gets over. Everybody hop over to Blondes and Booze. We'll be
Blondes
live.
and Booze. Yes, we're not going to be on that much longer. We are going to do Jeremy. I bought a witch's prison.
I'll see you guys.
Bye, Krista.
Alrighty, bye.
Yeah, bye.
When you say it like that, it makes me think of Arby's.
I know, and we'll probably go to 9, but we give so much people shit from England, and I just want to say, with all you're going through with your prime minister, I feel for you. I don't hate you as much, but I did pull a story from the UK because just to show you, hey, it's an overreach handshake, right? It's across state lines, okay, and the universe and international waters. But I thought the story was pretty amazing. It's called "I Bought a Witch's Prison." In 2005, Vanessa Mitchell moved into her dream home, a former medieval jail. Now, just that sentence alone,
sold.
Look. I've read 20 articles this week on top of everything else in the law, plus doing 9 projects at work and a freelance project. And I'm sitting here reading this shit at night. And I'm like, all right, I've got to find one for our audience. But this line alone, a former medieval jail where England's witches waited to hang and burn. When paranormal phenomena forced her to flee, she became convinced it was possessed by evil spirits. This is her true story. Convinced. I was convinced when you said it was a place to hold witches that were going to die by burning and hanging. What do you
probably has nothing to do with them.
It has nothing. It's nothing. Raccoons.
Definitely Satan.
I'm probably going to say this wrong, but I'm going to use what I can only assume is the English language to say this. But Saint Osyth,
Worcestershire.
That's easy to say. It's Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, it's anchovies.
Frodoshire.
Frodo's from the Shire. Saint Osyth is a cursed little village in the county of Essex, 83 miles east of London. At the edge of the North Sea, the town's 4,600 souls live in medieval cottages, arranged around a 12th century monastery, and in cheap mobile homes that the British call caravans.
Wait, they have trailer parks in Great Britain?
Yeah, dude. You ever see
I
Snatch?
just thought it was... No, I actually haven't seen Snatch.
The whole thing with the caravans? It's a big thing. Saint Osyth exact origins remain a mystery, and over the centuries, its town folks have survived floods, invasions, and monsters, both imaginary and real. In fact, every page of its wretched history is soused, great word, in the supernatural. The village is named after the granddaughter of England's last pagan king. According to legend, Osyth was beheaded by Danish Vikings, but managed to walk to the nunnery carrying his severed skull in her hands. In 1171, the village was burned down by fire-breathing dragon. There you go. Then came the witches. During a satanic panic in 1582, 13 local women stood trial for witchcraft and 2 swung from the gallows. In the more peaceful era of 2005, it only took 500 fucking years, but
Were those witches swingers?
Those 2 were. In the more peaceful era of 2005, 30-year-old sales executive Vanessa Mitchell arrived in St. arrived in St. Osyth to view a house for sale. Number 14 Colchester Road is the former medieval jail known as the Cage. It famously housed the 13 St. Osyth witches, including Ursula Kemp, who was hanged for murdering her neighbors with black magic. I remember seeing the plaque outside, Mitchell told me on a Skype call. I don't remember being scared of it. She had grown up in the village and used to walk past the mustard-colored building on her way to school. My earliest memories are just being fascinated by the house. I remember being drawn to it, she said. Dark-haired Mitchell, she's pretty cute actually. Dark-haired Mitchell, who was single and free-spirited, didn't want to live in a boring apartment like everyone else. The Cage was different. It had stories to tell. During the 1800s, it had been rebuilt in brick and remained a jail until 1908, holding local scofflaws before their trial. I don't know what that is. In the 1970s, a developer turned the cells into a living room and added 2 bedrooms upstairs with inviolable views over the monastery grounds. It was just the kind of quirky home Mitchell desired and a historic gem. She decided, I've got to buy this house. Okay. A little fresh paint on a hanging witch. I'm just saying.
I mean, it seems very homey.
I'll put on a chicken. Despite being one of the only 7 medieval cages left in Britain, the St. Osyth Cage had languished on the market for several months. The owner jumped at Mitchell's offer, which was an astounding $191,000.
Wait a second.
Well, 119.
They don't use, they do pounds over there.
Yeah, it was 147,000 pounds.
You said it was 83 miles? Would they know how far that is?
Yes,
over there with their metric
kilometers?
system? With their metric system
Kilometers?
over there?
I could see myself living there and one day meeting someone and getting married, she recalled. Just like everyone else when they get a new start. Mitchell had returned to St. Osyth after 12 years working in the cutthroat timeshare business, selling vacation homes in Tenerife and Scotland. Working abroad had made her fiercely independent, but also insulated her from rumors that swirled about the cage. A middle-aged couple claimed that books flew off their shelves, tenants broke their leases and fled. Ambulances often idled outside, their blue lights illuminating the ancient pub next door. Inside the King's Head, drinkers gossiped about a previous owner who had recently hung himself. Mitchell heard about the suicide, but was not afraid of spirits. My dad never believed in ghosts. End of subject, Michelle said curtly. She had grown up in another ancient house in St. Osyth with abandoned servants' quarters and floors that groaned in the night. Hidden in the basement were priest holes, she claimed, for when the monastery was raided, the monks would need to escape. Blood-curdling screams often rang out in the night, but they weren't evil spirits. Michelle's mother was a foster parent who cared for addicted babies of heroin and crack users. I didn't know about the history of the witches, Michelle admitted. She did know that a skeleton believed to be Ursula Kemp had been discovered in the unconsecrated land nearby with iron stakes driven through its arms and legs to prevent the witch from rising and wreaking havoc on the villagers. She also knew that
from your grave.
Rise from your grave. If you can name that video game, you're coming to Emmaus for free. Just put it in the comments. She also knew that the alleyway behind the cage was called Coffin Alley. because that was how dead bodies were carried from the jail to their burial sites. For many homebuyers, termites or faulty wiring can be deal breakers. Yet Mitchell seemed to mistake these morbid red flags for quirky historical details that added value to her home. I was completely unprepared for what was to come, she said.
You bought a jail that held witches being executed. What the fuck did you expect?
Now, did you see how I bookended this? Like, this is the Adderall working, right? We talked about the bunkers in the beginning. We talked about people that would buy something like this because they don't believe, right? And this is exactly why I chose this article. And then I will show you pictures. The place is actually really cool looking, right? It would be a great, like, Grumpy Fellows. But less than 4 years into her residence, Mitchell claimed her life was destroyed by paranormal activity and confounded investigators, police officers, and the church. She saw objects fly around the kitchen. She was punched, bitten, and thrown to the floor. Mysterious figures floated through her home and attacked her guest. During Mitchell's ownership, the cage became the most talked about active haunting in the country. According to John Fraser of the Society for Psychical Research, after an investigation, Fraser compared it to 112 Ocean Avenue. Now, who knows what 112 Ocean Avenue is? Are you still there? Are you awake, Robert? What's 112 Ocean Avenue in New York?
It's Long Island, actually.
It's Long Island. The demonic family known home in Amityville. Mitchell couldn't wait to move in. One afternoon in mid-2005, she and her roommate, Nicole Kirtley, 27, carried boxes up the creaky wooden stairs. They had grown up together in St. Osyth. Probably saying that wrong. And were polar opposites. Mitchell was iron-willed and outspoken, while Kirtley described herself as blonde and ditzy. Sounds like my kind of girl. Kirtley was recuperating from cancer treatments and worked casual shifts behind the bar in the King's Arms. She heard all the rumors about the cage. There was one family that lived there while I worked in the pub, Kirtley told me, and the son kept setting fire to his bedroom. Someone said it was because he was possessed. While Kirtley unpacked her belongings, Mitchell plugged in her electric kettle to brew a celebratory cup of tea in her old world kitchen. As the real estate agent's listing described, the house retained its old-fashioned charm. Is that false advertising? I mean, I don't know if old-fashioned charm would be considered a witch's jail from the medieval ages, but let's keep going.
They have a different sense of charm than I do.
Okay. With original wooden beams and crisscross the walls. That does look cool. I get that. When she heard footsteps, Mitchell turned, expecting to find Kirtley. Instead, she saw an ominous black fog drifting through a door. Mitchell was aghast. She had broken out in a cold sweat. When she peered out of the window into Coffin Alley, she watched Kirtley lift another box from the car and vowed to keep the incident a secret from her sick friend and paying tenant. Mitchell showed Kirtley around the new home. Downstairs, the former prison room and ominous wooden cage tour were considered original. In the fireplace, Mitchell found an iron chain with a large hook that appeared to be a relic from the building's prison days. During a spring cleaning, Mitchell sifted through decades of creepy old photographs and documents left behind by tenants. I was able to get my hands on the house deed records that go back many generations, she later wrote in a memoir, Spirits of the Cage, if you want to get that book. I discovered that the house had changed hands on average every 3.5 years since it was built, with the exception of only 2 cases. One example being a man who purchased the property for 150 pounds and sold it only a matter of weeks later for 100 pounds. 100,000 pounds. He just took a loss, but it was probably worth it. The pattern revealed in that document would have deferred many buyers. But even if it had arrived earlier, Mitchell had been struck by a love blindness often experienced by many homebuyers. Mitchell found another unsettling document among some papers in the kitchen. It was a death certificate of that guy that hung himself there 6 months before. She told me, I remember thinking, what a month to kill yourself. Near Halloween. Next, Mitchell lifted up an old rug and screamed. We had an infestation of thousands of maggots, she said. Nicole scrubbed the floor with bleach while Mitchell swept the larvas into the street. They discovered other issues with the house. It was freezing cold even on warm days. Strange drafts wafted the scent of baking bread, pipe smoke, and sour smell that turned Mitchell's stomach. Then, one morning, not long after she moved in, she heard 3 loud knocks on the door. On the doorstep, Mitchell found a startled boy with spiky hair wearing a school uniform, not a ghost, but flesh and blood. "Oh, really sorry," said Freddie Young, who was 12. "I don't mean to upset you, but, it's tradition for me, eh?" Young explained that his grandmother, who was called Nan, was a white witch. Nan used her powers for good, not evil, he explained. She warned him not to walk past the cage without knocking 3 times, as a sign of respect to the witches, to ward off evil. Mitchell stood in shock at the boy as he turned away down Coffin Alley. Despite his strangeness, Mitchell thought her little corner of St. Osyth was magical. "I couldn't have wished for a better place to be, even with the black fog just going upstairs and the maggots on the carpet. I just couldn't imagine a more magical place to be," she told me. Through her bedroom window, she watched stags rutting in the monastery grounds. She drank in the king's arms with the locals until the streetlights flickered off. At midnight, the village plunged into darkness, and it felt like walking through the 1500s. All you could hear was the crackle of fireplaces as smoke drifted into the Bibled black sky. When Ursula Kemp walked along these same streets 400 years earlier, St. Osyth was a broken town with a desecrated monastery. "It would have felt like the ends of the earth," said Marion Gibson, professor of Renaissance and magical literatures at the University of... Why don't we have fucking classes like that? We have like welding. Like, what the fuck? Why don't we have classes like that, Jeremy?
Because welding's fun.
It's true. Unless you get an arc burn. It was a society of people who were forced together, a kind of powdered keg of festering resentment. Kemp was likely middle-aged, illiterate, and poor, yet respected as a cunning woman, a type of magical individual who, in exchange for coins or cheese, could cure colds or place the occasional curse. One day in 1582, Grace Thurlow, a neighbor, called Kemp to help her sick child. Kemp recited a spell 3 times. "A good child, how thou art loaden." The boy recovered. A bitter disagreement erupted over payment when Thurlow's newborn baby fell from her cot and snapped her neck. She accused Kemp of causing the death by witchcraft. These accusations were rife in Essex, where the poor sometimes faked bewitchment to receive money given in pity, and cunning folk interfered in local disputes. Back then, courts tried individuals for crimes associated with their witchcraft rather than for witchcraft itself. And nobody in Essex was above suspicion. Husbands accused wives, children accused their mothers. Grace alerted her employer and local magistrate, Lord Byron Darcy. Oh, God. What's an English story without a man named Darcy? Who arrested Kemp and threw her in the cage. Darcy's father had been bewitched to death, authorities believed. This inspired his crusade against what he called sorcerers, wizards, and witches, wise woman. I'm assuming he's old.
Has he got a wizard finger?
I hope he fucking does. It's a quick trip, fucking 3:00 morning hot dog. By the summer of 2005, Vanessa Mitchell had settled into the cage and discovered a tremendous sense of freedom. She had found a new job selling caravans at a local vacation park. There, her charming smile and well-honed sales pitch cast a spell over the old customers. "I was earning $6-7 grand a month on commission," she told me. With Curtly helping to pay her mortgage, Mitchell never felt wealthier. Super cute. Curtly stayed home while Mitchell went to work. On the weekends, they howled along to the Oasis records and drank wine. I love Oasis. It wasn't the settling down that Mitchell had imagined, but it was bliss. Then strange things started to happen. Both women saw tiny bright lights floating through the house. Things would just disappear and turn up in bizarre places, Curtly told me. As you walked through the door, you had a feeling as if you're trying to wade through jelly. Sometimes at night, the heavy latch on Curtly's bedroom door rattled, as if someone was trying to break in. Freddie Young became a frequent guest. Some days I'd knock and we'd chat and catch up on things. He said, Young told me Mitchell he lived with his grandparents in the old bakery. It had once burned down in a fire, he said, and Nan often saw the ghosts of the baker's 3 daughters. Granddad spent his days drinking in the Knight's Head, which is how Young found out about the witches. He was sitting outside the pub when he saw an old woman in the cage's window. Nan gave him a lecture about the afterlife. His grandmother wasn't a witch with a freaky deaky pointed hat and a cauldron, Young explained, but she always had some kind of lotion or potion on the go. Nan always steered clear of the cage when she flew through the village on her mobility scooter. That October, Mitchell and Kirtley decided to throw a Halloween party at the cage. They both dressed like stereotypical, if sexy, witches.
Wait a second. So this lady is dressed like a witch, driving around on her hover round.
Yes.
She's just cruising around She's cruising
around a medieval town to avoid the cage because she's a white witch and she doesn't want to see something in the window, is what I'm assuming, which is probably smart. Little short dresses, recalled Curly. Hours before the guests arrived, they were applying black lipstick when they heard a huge crash downstairs. "What are you doing?" Mitchell shouted down. Curtly appeared from her bedroom. What are you telling me off for? I haven't done anything." The two witches looked at each other, but said nothing. Then they crept down the stairs. They felt a presence in the house, but no one was there. In the days following Halloween, the energy in the home completely changed. The TV volume was going up and down. It was just ridiculous, said Mitchell. Fridge magnets flew across the room. Curtly saw a soda can slide across the kitchen table on its own. The old chain that Mitchell believed dated to the jailhouse days had started to swing violently at night, and the door to the hallway slammed shut with a bang. Then at night, Mitchell started to hear the disembodied voices of infants, just like her mother's heroin babies.
What?
Soon after, heroin babies.
All of a sudden, we got heroin babies and soda cans just floating around.
Got soda cans. We've got witches' babies and dead babies. This is a great. I told you guys would love this fucking story.
What in the hell is happening?
Soon after, Mitchell and Curtly marched over to the village church and asked to see the vicar. Both women recall a meeting with Reverend Martin Flowerdew. What a beautiful name. Who Curtly described as a trendy vicar. Beloved Reverend Flowerdew, 50, wore a tidy beard and controversial earring, and was fascinated with the archaeology of St. Osyth. He agreed to visit the cage, Mitchell said. Reverend Flowerdew declined to comment for this story. The vicar walked in, and he sat down in the front room, and we had a really long chat, Mitchell recalled. Curtly had gone out for the day, and when Mitchell gave the vicar the tour, the cage was eerily silent. He started getting his robes and holy water out and everything, and said, "Is this common?" "I'm going to tell you this," Mitchell remembers the vicar saying. "I've been in a lot of parishes, but never since I've come to the parish in St. Osyth have I had so many people coming to me in private and coming to me in church, saying, 'I need you to come to bless the house. I've got a haunted house.' I can tell you of at least 4 houses up this road I've been into. I'm not going to tell you what houses they are because it's private." The vicar recited some prayers, Mitchell recalled, then took a second walk around the house. Everything was quiet until they reached the upstairs bathroom. Both the bathtub faucets were gushing water. "I told you," Mitchell cried. "I told you." She said the vicar agreed there was something not right about the house. He said, "I can feel it. If you have any more problems, call me. I'll be upstairs asleep." Of course it didn't change anything in the house, said Mitchell. She never called the vicar back. Despite the horrors at home, things were looking up for Mitchell's love life. While she was selling caravans in nearby Seawick, one day a customer arrived from London with a friend named Jay. He was very handsome, very funny. I fell for him, Mitchell admitted. Soon Jay was living in the cage. He didn't believe in ghosts or anything like that at all, she said. And I remember we were sitting in bed one evening watching TV, and he had a Coke can by the side of his bed, and it literally flew off and smashed on the other side of the room. Some people just don't like fucking sodas in there.
I just, I would throw a Coke, but if it was a good old American Dew.
Don't ever throw my Coke. My Coke is in pill called Adderall.
I was going to say, your Coke is probably powdered.
During a whirlwind romance, they decided to get married in Las Vegas. Well, the story just took a turn. You should have told Zach.
Classy place for a wedding.
Should have told Zach about the house. But Mitchell got cold feet. What if she was jumping into something that would become a nightmare, like her current real estate investment? I canceled it a few days before. He wasn't the right person, she said. They stayed in touch, but Mitchell was sleeping alone again, and I was sleepwalking, she recalled. Same time every night. I ended up waking up every night in the hall by the hanging place where the previous owner had hung himself, she said. It felt like the house was goading her. She'd hear voices in her head and whispered, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. Mitchell was relieved when Curtly's boyfriend Jim moved into the cage. He didn't believe in ghosts or the paranormal, Mitchell wrote. But after several months in the cage, he flatly refused to be left alone inside the house. The three roommates made a pact. Under no circumstances would we leave any one of us alone inside the old prison for any reason at all. We began to plan our lives and daily schedules around the single unbreakable rule. But in October of 2006, Curtly told Mitchell that she and Jim were moving out. They were expecting a baby. I couldn't blame them. Mitchell recalled the cage was no place for children. By then, she was slowly accepting that it might not be a place for any living being. To avoid being alone, Mitchell filled the cage with visitors. One afternoon, she invited Christy Williams and her husband Neil for drinks. Neil, who was serving in the British Army, was the first to see the blood. 20 or 30 droplets of deep red blood splattered the floor, as if dropped from a pipette or a bleeding nose. Williams told me, I'm a nurse. I work in cancer, in hematology. I definitely knew that was blood, but couldn't explain it. It wasn't there when we arrived. Everyone panicked as Mitchell searched for a credible explanation. The first thing we're thinking is shit. Somebody had a door open or a window open and a cat's come in there injured. Maybe it was one of the crows that flew inside the cage and smashed against a window trying to escape. But they found nothing. Mitchell took it as a warning.
It's a bird.
Definitely a bird. Mitchell's
Just like
friends.
the staircase.
Just like it was an owl. It's definitely the owl. We found
It's definitely an owl. It was that.
Yeah, take that, Michael Peterson. It was the owl. Mitchell's friends started to feel uneasy about visiting the cage. There was another incident, Williams told me. Vanessa felt what she described as something or somebody biting her ear. I just absolutely screamed, Mitchell recalled. After 2 years in the cage, Mitchell had given up searching for rational explanations for strange activity. Cell phone towers, electromagnetic fields, and practical jokers were no longer feasible. She had come to terms with living alongside the spirit of one or more witches. 2 years. If you're following along, if you're still with me, 2 fucking years she's been in this house. That is why you can't debunk something after 6 hours.
Or even 28 days.
Or even 28 days. Then, in the summer of 2007, Mitchell felt unwell. I kept on going back to the doctor, and he kept on giving me loads and loads of tablets. He thought I had a pelvic inflammatory disorder, she told me. At the hospital, a nurse smeared cold gel on her stomach and applied it to the ulcer wound. The nurse saw the issue. You've got a 5.5-month-old baby in there. Mitchell screamed. She refused to look at the screen. Being a single parent was not in her plans, but raising a child in a cage was impossible. I knew that a baby is never going to be safe in the house, she recalled. A blind panic rose inside Mitchell, but it wasn't the baby. I added that part. I can't even...
I'm dying over here.
Let me out, Mom.
Are you still with me? All right. I'm sorry. A blind panic rose inside Mitchell. I can't even cope with this house alone. She thought, how the hell can I do this? Back in 1582, single mother Ursula Kemp sat in a cage alone and stewed. She had been separated from her 8-year-old son, Thomas Rabbit, and faced accusations that could send her to the gallows. Then Lord Darcy offered leniency if she confessed to the charges. She had no choice, said historian Marion Gibson. Imagine if you're a poor village woman and the big man in authority comes down from the big house and says, now tell me about your witch. Darcy transported Kemp 16 miles by the wooden cart to stand trial in nearby Chelmsford. Meanwhile, he started to turn the village and her family against her. During a chaotic trial, Kemp's brother Lawrence accused her of bewitching his wife, who immediately gasped and died. Thomas, her son, told the court about his mother's familiars: 4 imps, 2 cats, 1 sheep, and a toad that sucked her blood. A neighbor, Jesus Christ.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
A neighbor, Ennis Leatherdaw, accused Kemp of sickening her child. The evidence was clear. Leatherdaw announced when she carried her baby past Kemp's house, he screamed. Eager for the court's mercy, a sobbing Kemp dropped to her knees and confessed. She also accused 12 other St. Osithe women of crime. Oh, here we go. There it is. There she goes. Give me leniency. These 8 other women that I barely know are also witches. St. Osithe women of witchcraft. All were dragged to court, but 2 were not indicted. 2 were discharged, 4 were acquitted, and 4 were found guilty by reprieved. Kemp was betrayed. She was sentenced to death alongside an accused witch named Elizabeth Bennet. They were likely paraded through the town and hanged before a cheering crowd. England learned little from the St. Osithe witch trials. Parliament later passed the Witchcraft Statute of 1604, officially ruling witchcraft as a crime in itself, punishable by death. Vigilantes searched the country for witches and murdered them for cash. In 1645, a failing solicitor named Matthew Hopkins, big guy there if you're into witches, appointed himself England's Witchfinder General, based in Manningtree, a 5-minute gallop from St. Osithe. Hopkins killed an estimated 230 women. Most, like Kemp, were buried in unsecrated land, with their bodies pointing north-south. The Essex, which
why north-south?
Head to the north, feet to the south, never to the west, never to the east. You never heard that?
No.
The star of the pentagram thing.
Oh.
It's in that book over there.
The Star of Pentagram, David?
That's not a pentagram. That's a 6-pointed star. Pentagrams are 5 and 7. Come on now, Jeremy, it's math.
I know. You have a lot of chutzpah.
I'm an art teacher. I can't read.
Well, this is most, like Kemp, were buried in unconsecrated games with their bodies pointing north and south. The Essex witch trials echoed through time, said Gibson. Salem isn't in Essex County for no reason. These American communities were seeded by the communities back at home in Essex, and they took their beliefs with them, and they replicated the whole thing in the New World. In 1921, a St. Osithe man was digging in his backyard of Mill Street when he discovered 2 skeletons. Charles Broker declared them witches and charged tourists 6 pence to peer into their grave. This enterprise lasted until 1932. I made a lot of money. When an unexplained fire engulfed Brooker's home and a fireman fell into his witch pit. Fearing a curse, locals reburied the bones, but they were eventually sold to England's Museum of Witchcraft and later to an eccentric artist named Robert Lenqueux. After Lenqueux died in 2002, a British documentarian named John Warland petitioned his estate to rebury the bones in St. Osithe where they belonged. In Warland's film, The Witch Who Wouldn't Stay Buried, solicitor Peter Wamsley, I have to watch this film now, a solemn executor of the Lenqueux estate, admitted the strange phenomenon following the bones. Things have tipped over, he said. Windows have closed themselves, and which would have never rustled open. By September of 2007, different troubles were bubbling in the UK. There were signs of global recession brewing, and British banks had started going bust. St. Osithe residents panicked. People lost their houses here. My mortgage doubled literally overnight, Mitchell recalled, due to her variable rate of mortgage. Her payment increased.
One of them.
Her payment increased by $1,175. I just got bit into debt, she said. Without Nicole's rent, Mitchell was worried about supporting a baby. As the recession loomed, fewer customers bought caravans. Sometimes Mitchell slept in a caravan at work to save gas money driving home. I think it was another reason. A deep depression gripped her. I remember just being like a robot at work. She recalled her commission evaporated. At home, the attacks seemed to increase as her stomach grew. Mitchell recalled the spirits becoming violent too. I was looking in the mirror and all of a sudden I felt 2 hands shove me and I hit the floor and I fell into the spare room. If I were there to fall, I'd have gone straight down those stairs, she said. Mitchell lay on the floor, scared of going into labor. If I move an inch, she thought, I'm going to be in trouble. As her due date neared, Mitchell asked a plumber to install a new bathroom. He ran terrified from the house after hearing heavy footsteps, she said. A friend tasked with repairing an electrical fault in the cage told Mitchell that a force tried to push him down the stairs. Only Freddie Young, now a chatty teenager, wanted to spend time at the cage, much to Nan's dismay. She cast some kind of protection thing on me, Young said. But when he arrived at the cage, something happened that chilled his bones. As I walked in, clear as day, in my ear hole, a man said to that shit won't work here, boy. His ear hole.
His ear hole. Was he missing the lobe?
Why can't we have ghosts like that? Can you imagine like Jeremiah walking around Emmaus and a ghost just says, that shit won't work here, boy.
You better get stepping, boy.
If you blow too much, you're in trouble.
That's what the ghost said. The man soon represented himself, Mitchell said. I'm just watching TV and I've seen this man, but I could have only seen from the waist up. And he was gliding very, very slowly, looking at me, gliding past the beams. I saw him so clearly. He even had, like laughter lines. He had black spiky hair and he had an old-fashioned clothes on, but I couldn't see him from the legs down. Mitchell sensed he could have been a jailer. On Christmas Eve of 2007, Mitchell gave birth to her first child, Jesse. She took him home to the cage, carefully avoiding the prison room. Mitchell went straight back to selling caravans. Work was impossible, she said, because I wasn't sleeping at night. A new sales manager had joined the company, and for the first time in her career, Mitchell felt bullied. He stopped me from being able to go out on the show ground to pick up business. So I basically stopped making money, she recalled. Every night she drove home to her hell house, where she had reluctantly become the latest in a long line of terrified owners. Living inside the cage was grueling, she wrote about that time. The longest slog of my life. It drove me to the brink of exhaustion and a nervous breakdown. Baby Jessie only slept in Mitchell's bedroom, in the modern part of the building. She was angry that her life had been reduced to a small room. One night she awoke to sound the footsteps pounding up the stairs. With a boom, 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 the metal latches crashed against the door as if something was about to burst in. It was so violent and so quick, she recalled, and my heart was bursting out of my chest, and then nothing. Mitchell became a nervous wreck as the attacks continued night and day. I was brushing my teeth and I was hit in the bum. Early morning, getting ready for work. This hit was so hard and aggressive. In desperation, Mitchell confided in her friends and colleagues. A manager at the caravan park had a daughter who could help. Wendy was a local police detective with an interest in the supernatural. She now runs a Facebook page called Horrible Haunted History. A little bit. Wendy told me she does not use her psychic powers for police work. I'm going to let it go. The story's too long.
There's a lot going on here.
There's so much going on in the story, and I read this today, and I don't remember it being this long, but it might have been the Adderall. And asked to be referred to her by name only. She still works for the police. I didn't realize how bad. She runs a fucking Facebook page, but only mention her by name. You won't find out who she Wendy said, recalling the day Mitchell begged for help. The police won't do anything, Vanessa, Wendy told her. You're talking about something people don't understand. Wendy agreed to visit the cage. She didn't last long. Almost immediately after I walked over the threshold, banging headache. It felt like somebody was trying to crush my skull. And that old cliche, I felt like I'm being watched. I had really bad feeling like something terrible was about to happen, she said. Late one night, 3 loud knocks pounded the front door. Young bursting in. He'd had a blazing argument with his grandmother. Granddad was dying, he recalled. Nan was carrying on, screaming, crying, and it was all a bit mad. So he ran down to the cage. He knew it was midnight because the street lights had flickered off. Mitchell said he could stay, but there was only the sofa downstairs in the prison room. I've managed to fall asleep, Young told me. It was very, very dark, and I kept brushing my face. It felt like there was something on it, like a spider, and I opened my eyes up in the end, and I looked down, and next to me, and I shit you not, there was a woman, and she's on her knees, and she's stroking my head and brushing my hair. Terror froze him. I can't scream, he said. I can't breathe. I can't do anything. Eventually, the woman vanished. Young kept his eyes open until sunrise, then fled. Mitchell now slept while holding Jessie close in bed, which she knew was dangerous. That was just the situation I was in, she explained. The one time she put him down for a second, mysterious forces threw him off the bed and onto some drinks she kept on the floor. Lord have mercy, she gladly, the glasses didn't break. She told me. Mitchell wanted out before the haunting claimed her sanity. When I finally came to realize that this was now,
Guys, I think it's haunted.
What gave you that impression?
Well, I woke up and there was this hot-looking ghost stroking me.
When I finally came to realize this was not a fight I was going to win, I began to think seriously about an escape plan, she wrote. It was now February of 2008, and a winter chill had swept across Essex. As nightfall, Mitchell found herself in the street. Unable to summon the courage to go inside, she tucked baby Jesse inside her coat to protect him from the cold. She thought to herself, what are you going to do? You have to go in. His stuff is in there. You've got work in the morning. And the snow started falling on his little head, she recalled. If you don't go in, you're going to freeze anyway. Then she took a deep breath and pushed open the ancient door. Tired and weary, Mitchell broke her own rules. With Jesse asleep, she crept downstairs to press some clothes for the morning. Alone in the prison room, she pushed an electric iron across a blouse. Just then, a jaunty electronic song filled the room. She looked down at her feet and saw several toys had come to life. Jesse's Thomas the Tank engines, 4 or 5 of them all at once, started chugging around my feet, she said. Jesse, she screamed, climbing the stairs 2 at a time. There was a bloke standing at the top of the stairs, she recalled. Not a burglar, but a ghostly figure standing between her and Jesse. Mitchell had no choice but to dash past the apparition to grab her son. As she cradled her baby, she broke down in tears. I'd rather be homeless, she decided. I'm not living here because it's unlivable. Mitchell put the cage on the market, naively hoping for a quick sale. Not a soul was interested, not even the ones that lived there.
Not a soul.
Who would be? After a few agonizing months, she moved in with a friend nearby. I felt pissed off that I had to leave it because it was my house, and I knew it was going to put me in more financial trouble, she said. At the end of that long, harrowing summer of 2008, Mitchell removed the last of her furniture from the cage. By daylight, and with the help of friends, when the driver pulled the van up outside, he saw in the bedroom women the shadowy figure. He saw in the bedroom window the shadowy figure of a woman. This is all over this area. It's like newspaper clippings and everything. The link's going to be in the show notes. You can see all the pictures. Those of you that stayed around for 7, man, this story is almost over. But I'm going to post this whole link. It's on Medium. You'll have to have a Medium account. But the pictures are amazing. You have to look at this house. It's really cool. Mitchell called moving out pure relief. It was also the start of a move, more problems. She tried to rent the cage to another old friend from the village who called on a psychic to clear the house. As soon as the woman saw the cage, she refused to enter. That tenant moved out 4 months. Then a young couple with a baby lasted half that time. When Mitchell sought help from the church, she learned that the victor had moved to another parish, 200 miles away. Reverend Flowerdew told a local newspaper that he had suffered a nervous breakdown after a block of concrete crashed through his car windshield. This is starting to sound like The Omen. With no tenants, Mitchell faced bankruptcy and needed answers. In 2010, she wrote to the Society for Psychical Research, a scientific organization established in 1882 by our good friend, Harry Price, to examine claims of psychic and paranormal phenomenon. John Fraser of SPR's Spontaneous Case Committee visited the cage and conducted interviews with Mitchell, her friends, and former residents. I think the cage is a good case because similar things have happened to a lot of people, Fraser told me, comparing it to the history's most famous poltergeist case. The one problem with the Amityville case is you have only the family as evidence, which is very, very narrow evidence base. The fact that Mitchell witnesses and reputable professionals, Williams is a cancer nurse, and Young is now a school teacher, made the case more reputable to Fraser. In his book Poltergeist, Fraser spoke to the paranormal investigators who Vanessa allowed to inspect the cage. One investigator had left the house with angry and red marks on her legs. The blistering was later examined by a doctor diagnosed as being burn marks, wrote Fraser. Kim Sattergaard, a Danish parapsychologist group, told Fraser he was prodded and bruised on his leg. I was standing in the courtyard. Then I broke down. I started to cry uncontrollably, he told Fraser in a recorded testimony. Word of serious paranormal investigation soon reached England's amateur ghost hunters who descended on St. Osyth carrying spirit boxes, Ouija boards, and night vision cameras. Seizing an opportunity, Mitchell advertised the cage as haunted holiday home and leased it to companies who charge visitors $45 to attend ghost hunts. Guys, this is 2005. Stop complaining about a $75 ghost ticket.
Enough of the talking.
Okay. Seizing an opportunity, Mitchell advertised the cage as a haunted holiday. The British tabloids dispatched reporters from the Sun, Daily Mail, and Daily Express who called the cage the most haunted house in Britain. A retired police officer claimed to have snapped a photograph of 4 ghosts carrying a dead witch in a coffin alley. Others captured witch-like faces, and even a satanic goat was caught. Jesus. Not him, though. He wasn't caught. Jesus wasn't there.
Bye, bye, bye.
That's what Jesus said. It was an upside-down Parker coat. Francie told me. During the media circus, some suggested that Mitchell had embellished her paranormal experiences. She had made quite a lot of money. Here we go. The lady lived in torment for like fucking 4 years, was facing bankruptcy, and said, fuck it, give it to the paranormal people. Give it to us.
Don't take any bullshit from him.
That's what I would tell Mitchell. I think it's loads of bullocks. Mitchell doesn't care. The women of St. Osyth are no strangers to accusations. They say falsehood flies and truth comes limping after it. In 2012, Worland asked archaeologist Jacqueline McKinley to inspect the St. Osyth skeleton. She concluded that the person was not Ursula Kemp, but a male. And the iron spikes were recent additions designed to enhance the witch story. In Clacton and Frinton Gazette, Charles Broker's grandson Paul made a confession. Granddad put the nails there. He embellished things. On April 15th, this is the fucking spiral I was telling you about. This story goes through.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
That's what happens right now, guys. Get your lotion out. On April, Charlotte, get the lotion. On April 15, 2012, Worland achieved his mission. The bones were reburied in the unconsecrated land in St. Osyth in a ceremony witnessed by a pagan and Christian representatives. It didn't stop the curse of St. Osyth. Regulars abandoned the king's arms, and the owner shut its doors. Then on July 26, 2016, a car driving alongside Colchester Road mysteriously crashed into the cage. The driver couldn't explain how he lost control of a BMW. Well, I can. Mitchell.
The wheel locked.
It's the wheel locked. Mitchell had another son in 2016, but her relationship with his father ended too. Over the next 3 years, the cage in the king's arms lay silent, apart from the occasional slamming door or rattling chain, or the cries of infants echoing in the night. So the rumors went. Then, last year, Mitchell found a new realtor who staged the property with broomsticks and books about the unexplained. On January 7, 2020, she accepted an offer for $300,000. The sale made international news, but after fees, taxes, and interest, Mitchell cannot calculate the extent of her losses. All she gained was a valuable lesson in hardship. I learned about being terrified of something you can't do anything about, she told me. I can deal with anything now. After some legal delays, the new owner of the cage plans to move in by December. Mitchell felt it was her duty to warn her. The buyer is a divorcee who hoped to make a new start in St. Osyth. The woman had no time for stories of the supernatural. She doesn't believe in ghosts at all.
The ghosts believe in her, though.
Don't take any bullshit from him.
Don't take any bullshit from her, okay, Mitchell? That's how she started. The circle, bro. The people that buy these places, it always seems to be the circle. It's the people that don't believe. It's the debunkers that don't believe. And those are the ones that are tormented more than anything else. They become believers in the worst possible way. They never want to be around it again. It's an unbelievable thing to witness. And when I read this story today, I'm like, wow, what a perfect circle this has to the debunking thing, right? Like, debunk that shit. Stay there for 2 years, right? The Borley Rectory, right? 10 years, you know? So, I mean, all our stories, all our bedtime stories will not be that long, I promise. But this one was just so captivating because it kind of puts everything in circles. Like, you have these people that come in there skeptic, ghosts don't belong. This is my dream house. I'm going to fucking have a kid. Never mention the father again, but whatever. You know, and then the fucking kid that kept showing up, knocking, you know, his ass. His grandfather was the one who put the stakes. I mean, really, dude? Like, really? So was it psychosomatic? Was what she experiencing psychosomatic? Or was she seeing all these ghosts? And where the fuck is the movie?
Well, yeah. There should be a movie.
I mean, fuck.
I would buy it. But I'm also a believer, so
then you got this asshole, and you got an asshole in the comments. Still shocked that there are adults in this world that believe in ghosts.
Hey, buddy. Triple Dog dare you to buy that witch's prison.
But then the comment above it, because comments are where I live. It's chillingly stupid how some people will purchase homes without even doing simple research and inspections. I used to live down the street from the Amityville Horror House, which did not appear to be haunted after the Lutz family profited off it or so and then sold it. I personally would never buy a home that people were murdered in. She got 211 claps.
I hope she speaks in that language and accent and whatnot.
In cases like this, I find that the deeper cause of whatever evil people are experiencing is this injustice which started it. A horrible array of men, ignorant townspeople murdered innocent people for bevy of evil, shellfish regions. Shellfish. She did spell shellfish, though. Wow. Until the descendants of those townspeople or representatives of the town offer amends of some sort and condemn the man and men who did this injustice, along with any of their female accomplices, the incidences will likely continue. That should be the line in the movie from the old guy that croaks at the courthouse.
Needs to hold a cane up, shaking it when he says it.
Here's a note. She's going to learn today. I'm curious to hear what happens with the new owner. Keep us posted, Medium. This is a brilliant article. Jeff really well researched and put together a gripping read on Halloween. Did you guys all think that? 9 of you are still here. It's just me logged in 9 times. Who?
If you blow too much, you're in trouble.
That's what I keep telling my wife. Who is here 2025 and saw this story on Halloween? What would the owners dress up? This is the guy I like. Why would the owners dress up as witches when witches were tortured there? It's a bad taste, and if you suspect the ghost of those witches to be haunting the house, you're just asking for trouble. Also, they saw a black mist moving through the house upon moving in and didn't think like, okay, we got to flip this fucking house.
This seems normal.
She waited so long to get rid of the house. That's crazy. Thank you for this witchy report. I know I'm like 4 years late to the party, but it's a great story, and you made it a captivating read. Have a wonderful 2025. This article is from like 2005. Or 2020. She bought the house in 2005. This is the first long-form article on Medium that has held my attention. This would make a great screenplay. Fascinating. See, there you go. Fascinating story and very well written. Keep us updated on what happens. That was 2020. He wrote it himself, guys. It wasn't AI. Can't blame AI for that. I too would like to know what happens with the new owner. Here's the thing. We can find out what happened to the new owner because this story was written in 2020.
They're probably still alive.
Jeremy, do a research right now on the cage in Essex, in Osyth. It's Osyth. I am new to Medium as a reader and writer. This article, I Bought a Witch's Prison, is a 25-minute read. I don't usually read long articles, but this was well worth the read. You think she's tapping her toe? Okay there, Mrs. McGonagall.
Dude.
What do you got?
There's a lot.
All right. Next week, if you were here.
I found the article too.
If you state red flag. Note to self, do not buy a fucking witch jail.
So that's you shouldn't do that.
Don't do that right there. A little bit of a red flag. Yeah, sure. I would say red flag is real. Have a great day from Canada. We don't care. Their
whole head moves when they talk.
Did people really believe in dragons back then? See, I love how people take the beginning of the story, right? We talked about dragons in the first 2 sentences, right? So on the LSAT, you have reading comprehension. So I'm learning how to like deconstruct sentences as I read them. But dragons was like the first fucking paragraph. And this guy got all the way to the end and was like, did people really believe in dragons? Like, you didn't read the rest of the fucking story. There's like blood on the floor, bro. There's satanic goats hanging out in the attic, bro. And you're talking about the fucking dragon?
I want to know about the satanic goat. Was it black? Did it have 6 horns? What the fuck is it?
There's so much more.
I don't mean goat with 666 between its horns.
Look at this fucking asshole. I don't mean to insult your work, and I do intend my criticism is constructive. However, the above quote is where you finally lose me, because that's simply not how it works in the obstetrician's office. No nurse is going to just spit out the exact age of a fetus after taking a glance at it through an ultrasound machine. So this makes me wonder what else you've fabricated. That's not true. They absolutely know how old a baby is. They 100% know. If you dial back on the gratuitous and precisely described yet unknowable details of how various purported events occurred, your story will stop sounding like a horror fiction. It does occur to me that you might not be trying to write accurate historical reporting, but rather historical fiction. I'm not sure how historical fiction authors avoid confusing the reader as to the degree to which their work is faithful to fact. Some of them go out of band and introduce the work with an explanation of this. Some of them simply present their work as, I swear to God, this actually happened. Truth, however. And this type of work gets relegated to the genre, the yellow press, and published in the National Enquirer. Jesus. He must have a debunk channel.
Probably.
What a shitty last name. And he's balding. Piece of shit.
Hey.
That's all right. You lost your hair 10 years ago. What a sad story for such a beautiful young woman. This guy's trying to get in her pants. What the fuck? What is wrong with these people? Oh, and then he's got to add this scripture. Hold on. We're adding scripture, people. What a sad story for such a beautiful young woman. But why did she accept defeat after years of misery from spirits who are all subjected to the power of Christ?
That compels them.
I mean, he's not wrong, but at the same time, that's not Christ's job. You kind of put yourself there. You put yourself there, right? And that's what I try to tell people, that like, hey, do you think I should do this? I mean, I'm doing this and like, I'm really faithful. Should I? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't go, son. You shouldn't play with the Ouija board. 100 times fold. If you're Christian, walk that path. Stay away from the dead. That's what the Bible warns, right? She wasn't neither. She was an atheist to the nth degree. What? Get the fuck out of here. I think Christina's doing some work for us. All right. We're going to show this. This is cool. That's why she's going to be a good third chair. Jeremy found an article 7 pages long. Are you guys ready? This will be fun. It's Mark Wahlberg. It's not, but also super cute. He's like
Mark Wahlberg's super cute.
He's like Timu Mark Wahlberg. We bought one of England's most haunted houses, The Cage. Thanks to everyone who tuned in to our live announcement the other night. The outpouring of support and kind words has meant a lot to us. We're hard at work preserving the residents for the future and getting to know our new ghostly pals. There's nothing nice about, there was not one fucking spirit in that whole house that was like, hey, let me make you some fucking tea. Like, no, there was blood and maggots and people flying up staircases and an old jailer with no legs, like looking at people creepily with spiky hair. There are connections to the St. Osyth witch trials of 1582, local imprisonment, and so much more to learn about relating to this property. Check out the replay of our live stream announcement. on YouTube if you're curious about the cage and our hopes for the house.
I
But
found
we'll
lots
be
of stuff
sure.
on YouTube.
We'll be sure to share more updates soon. Wow. Prioritize the issues. Blood can be clean. Dragons burn the place.
So I'm reading this article, and this test comes up in the middle of it. I can't explain this.
Is it necessary assumption questions? What have you been looking on your phone, bro?
I don't know because it's not anything about that.
How long before Marky Mark looks like a homeless man? Hey, Charlotte, if you read the reading comprehension we did tonight on our LSAT class, 3.5 years.
Oh, here's Ursula Kemp.
She's hot. She's actually kind of cute.
That's a line drawing.
You know what? You gotta take it when you got it, bro. You gotta
get it where you can. You know what I'm saying? Woman, did you just break wind? You got to clean that up.
Jay Frankie, just want to let you know we're here to talk to Jeremiah for a bit. I'm going to the show, the rest of the crew.
Oh my God, the stuff that's popping up. Oh yeah, I see that picture now. That is definitely Timo Mark Wahlberg.
Let me just cool. Sorry, guys. We have some filmmakers actually on the property tonight. Doing the scouting. They're doing a creature feature, so they have like a costume that they made, and I think it's like a Dogman type costume, and so they're out there tonight getting their shit together.
It looks like me with my shirt off.
Yeah, no. It's you at Taco Bell at 3:00 in the morning after fucking 20 migs.
Oh my God. I'll take one of all of it. Even the bean burrito.
What do you got planned this? Hey, what are you doing for Memorial Day?
I'm gonna work on the van, the Jeep, take the kids out to do some stuff, and possibly open the pool and barbecue, of course. Yeah, probably make a taco salad.
Fuck yes. Where lettuce is a garnish.
That's right. I don't want it to get in the way of the meat, cheese, and beans.
There we go.
Like the Mexican guys smelled it the other day when I made it. They were building the house across the street, and they came over and they said, "That smells like real, authentic Mexican taco salad." I think that was true.
Okay, so Deb just sent me this. Amy Wayne 38 and Jared Cutting 40 bought the cage in St. Osithe, Essex earlier this year after learning it was on the market from a friend. Vanessa Mitchell, the previous owner, spent 12 years trying to sell the Erie cottage for witnessing ghosts and alleging she was knocked over while pregnant. I love how they just surmised that fucking thing. Anyway,
wow.
Next week is our follow-up. Make sure you fucking clip that story and send it to me before you lose it. Next week, we're going to follow up with what all happened with the witch's house, the cage. And then maybe I'm going to get Timo Mark Wahlberg and his cute girlfriend to come on the show, or wife. I mean, he does look like Mark Wahlberg. He looks like a Wahlberg.
Yes, he does.
You can fucking totally have a Wahlberg.
He's definitely a Wahlberg
I bet he's from Boston. He's gonna
Sibling.
come on the show and he's gonna be like, "This fucking house is so fucking haunted." Maybe we should have fucking Nat on.
Oh my God, that would be fucking hilarious.
We would be done.
You guys are fired from YouTube for free.
All right, it's May 21st. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. If you're coming to Emmaus this weekend, I think Trisha's here this week. We got Friday booked and Saturday booked. If you're coming to Emmaus, you might see my ass out there, and I might say hi and give you weird, awkward hugs like Charlotte likes to give. Very awkward hugs with her dogs that has a mohawk and a goatee. Like I call him General Lee.
He was like, I do declare it's
came
time for a bone.
That's right. He came out the house. He's like, I do declare this land to be ours. And then he took a shit right there.
Right in the middle of the street, too. I mean,
Oh,
what an
General Lee.
animal.
Fuck, I want a dog named General Lee. Anyway. All right, guys. We have a lot of car stuff coming next week. We're going to talk about the Cadillac. Hopefully, our owner, Mandy, will join us. We've had another Venmo story to tell you. This fucking nightmare of all the money that we collected this weekend for the ops is just like frozen in space because it's not going anywhere because Venmo wants to fuck with me. And now they're saying, oh, it's going to take about 10 days to figure it out. Just to figure what out? I'm just trying to send money to Ben. So it's like held up in space. But you know what they did do? They refunded me the $9 for the $530. You know, the instant transfer. They refunded me the $9. Isn't that lovely of them? Love Venmo. Good job, Venmo.
The Lord's work is being done with them.
His name is Rudabaugh, not Ruger. His name is General Rudabaugh.
Rudabaugh Lamentations.
It's General Ruger to you. The old Raffler. That's her name, the Raffler. That's why I call her the Raffler now. She earned that name well. Guys, we love you. It's good to be back. We'll see you next Thursday. We're going to follow up on the witch story. We're going to follow up on other stuff. We're going to give away tickets. We're going to talk about Andy Westcott, the owner of the Cadillac, why he's haunted. And then maybe Mandy will join us again. Maybe Ben will bring Taco Bell on and eat it on the podcast. That would be great. From all of us
I'll
here.
get Taco Bell too.
From all of us here at Emmaus Live, hosted by Haunted Garage, we love you. Sorry we went so long. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hope you find your dad.